Let us begin. Tavu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. The last time we have read and discussed that Keshav Chandra Sen, she took a boat, motorized boat to Calcutta, from Calcutta to Dakshinesh. And Sri Ramakrishna boarded, came up to Calcutta, and different type of question, answer, discussion. Wherever a religious person goes, what he does, this through the discussion, through the talk, he wants to give the spiritual, religious enlightenment, knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna's life, all through, everywhere, we find this. And now another chapter is beginning. The writer's Master Mahashaya, Mahendranath Gupta, he is mentioning the Master with the Brahmo devotees, part 1. Here he is mentioning that the semi-annual conference is going on for the Brahmo devotees, and Sri Ramakrishna is going over there. And when he reached over there, all devotees received him respectfully. Sri Ramakrishna was talking with them. Suddenly he saw Shipnath. Shipnath Shastri, he also became a famous preacher in Brahmo Samaj. He was a very learned man, and you know the Shastri is a title of Sanskrit. Those who are having the different type of knowledge in Sanskrit language, Sanskrit literature and grammar, they get this type of certificates, titles, the Shipnath Shastri. The Master cried out joyously, here is Shipnath. So many devotees were there. Suddenly when he saw the Shipnath, he was very happy, and he is expressing in his own beautiful way. He is telling, you see, you are a devotee of God. The very sight of you gladdens my heart. Just notice those words, you are devotees of God. The very sight of you gladdens my heart. Whenever a devotee is entering into the temple and offering pranam to God, not only the devotee is receiving the blessings and happiness, God is also happy. That is the reason the people are supposed to go to temple, because God is sitting over there, manifested over there. God is everywhere, but at the same time, in the temple, in the shrines, where we are constantly meditating on God, praying to Him, chanting His name, reading about Him, discussing about Him, there the manifestation is more. And that is the reason inside the temple one should not read other books, should not discuss the politics and other things. So that is the reason, because the environment, and the moment you enter, you feel that. Because God is very happy when He sees the devotee. It's not only that He saw the Shipnath and He was happy. Whenever a devotee is coming, He is happy. The very sight of you gladdens my heart. Then, as is always, he is giving an example. One hemp smoker feels very happy to meet another. Very often they embrace each other in an exuberance of joy. And one person who has the habit of smoking, the hemp and all that, alone when he is smoking, he is not happy. When he finds another person, they are very happy. They get the company. Though when the people are drinking, they also like to get the company so that they can discuss, and afterwards, of course, when they are fully drunk, they fight. But usually, they are very happy when they see the friend and they feel that was Sri Ramakrishna is telling, when a devotee is seeing another devotee, they are feeling happy. Afterwards, he is telling the differences between people. So many people are coming to God, so many people are coming to the temple, but they are different. Sometimes I find that the devotees of God are accompanied by worthless people. Their companions are immersed in gross worldliness and don't enjoy spiritual talk at all. Since the devotees keep on for a long time talking with me about God, the others become restless. Finding it impossible to sit there any longer, they whisper to their friends, "When shall we be going? How long will you stay here?" Can you imagine? We are here, we are trying to get the blessings of God, and when the God himself manifested in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, there in his company, before his presence, they are restless. They like to go away. And afterwards he will describe, and we will also quote from the Bhagavad Gita, why these different type of people. And he is asking, then the devotee says, "Wait a bit, we shall go after a little while." Then the worldly people say in a disgusted tone, "Well, then, you can talk. We shall wait for you in the boat." All are laughing. They cannot bear the presence of holiness. This is very peculiar. Once Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and his disciple Swami Brahmananda, that time Brahmananda ji was a very young boy, both of them, they went to a suburb, and after the meal they were given a room where they went for rest. The moment Sri Ramakrishna stepped into that room, he stopped and he looked in a corner to a corner of the room and then said, "Okay, I am going away," and asked the Rakhal to come along with him. They will leave. He was a young man. After eating, he wanted to sleep and he was not finding it good. Why should you leave right now? There is a bed is there, we can take rest. Then Sri Ramakrishna afterwards narrated, "Have you not seen those spirits? They were in the corner of that room, and when I entered, they were tormented and they were asking me, begging, 'Please go away, because we cannot stand your company.' As the light, the moment you put on the light, darkness cannot leave. Similarly, the holiness, the purity, the moment it entered into some place, there the impure minds cannot bear it. So they want to go away." Look at it. Who is explaining? God himself. So this we have to understand. The devotees say, "Wait a bit. The worldly people will never listen to you if you ask them to renounce everything." When you are asking them to renounce, they are not at all happy. The one person who was telling me, they were having a very rich relative, and the relative was donating here and there to the political people mainly. Then this person told, "Why don't you donate a little to the ashrama, because they are indebted and you can help them because you are sufficiently rich." He said, "What the ashrama is going to do to me? If I give this money to the political people, I get in return so many other things from them. What the ashrama will do?" So this type of temperament, mentality, thinking are also there, and God is not liking it. Again he is telling, the God or the divine people, what do? They like somehow to tell people to utter the name of God. Nitai, Nityananda Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya, they're the same. He used to go and tell people, the name of God has very great sanctity. It may not produce an immediate result, but one day it must bear fruit. That is the reason people that take initiation, Diksha, it's a mantra. And here we find that the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of Bengal's 600 years before Sri Ramakrishna he came, and he is telling this, the name of God has very great sanctity. Now some people will say, but we don't find it, we are repeating, I have repeated for the whole month, nothing has happened. Now he is telling, you cannot get the result immediately, but it will bear the fruit someday. Now he is giving an example. It is like a seed that has been left on the cornice of a building. After many, many days, the house crumbles and the seed falls on the earth, germinates, and at last bears fruit. So when we are taking the name of God, that is the japam that we are doing, we don't find that immediate action is there, nothing is there. When we sat to take the name of God, when we got up to, after that we are the same person. So why we are doing it? Some people they will be telling, oh no, it's not no use, just mechanically we are doing, it is not bearing any fruits, it is of no use. No, wrong. Because it goes deep down into ourselves, and someday it will germinate. So that is why this different type of people, as worldly people are endowed with sattva, raja and tamas, so also the bhakti characterized by the three gunas. So this is the wonderful discovery, we can say, of the Indian saints and sages. They are finding out the root, why the people are different, why they behave differently, why everything is so different, though maybe they are the children of the same parents. They got up in the same environment, they are brought up in the same environment. Why then they are different? Then Sri Ramakrishna is talking about the sattva. Do you know what worldly person endowed with sattva is like? Then about the rajas, then about the tamas. He is mentioning. We know that in the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, 18th sloka, there also Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he is mentioning Jnanam, Jneyam, Parigyata, Trividha Karma Chodana, Karanam Karma Karteti, Trividha Karma Samgraha. Look how they are explaining. Jnanam means knowledge, Jneyam, object of knowledge, Parigyata, the knower. For every knowledge there must be three things. And first is the person who is trying to know. That is Jnanam, an object of knowledge, and the Parigyata, the knower. Knower who is the person or the student, the devotee, he wants to get that knowledge. What knowledge? Whatever may be. In our case, for the devotees, it is the God, it is the Atman, it is the Brahman, it is the Self. So we want to know the Self. Who? Me. And how? That is the knowledge. The knowledge of that thing will come to us. And how it will be? Karanam, karma and karta. Instrument of action, karanam. That is our indriyas, our senses. So with the five sense organs, we are trying to get some knowledge, a knowledge of infinite. Though it is limited, finite, trying to understand infinite with the help of this indriyas. And karteti, karma mane purpose of action. We go to temple, we go to God, we go to churches, we pray, there is a purpose. Surely for a purpose we go. And what is that purpose? That we have to ask ourselves. Why we go to temples, why we go to churches? We never ask that question to ourselves. Why I am going over there? Sometimes it is sightseeing. We go over there just to see. I went to Canada, and the capital of Canada, there is a very big church is there, and I went to see that, the huge church. I didn't go there to pray. I went to see the construction and the building, and the arrangement. Just as a tourist, I went over there. Then, of course, I sat and prayed. But my purpose was only to visit. If I go over there as a tourist, only to visit, will I get the blessings? That is the question. I am going just for the fun of it. Shall I get the blessings? You have to have the mind ready. Karanam, the instrument of action. All the indriyas and your mind should be ready to receive that knowledge. And that is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again and again he is telling, and that is called the spirituality. Unless and until your mind is ready, until and unless all your indriyas and senses are trained to receive that knowledge, to receive that jnana, to receive that blessings, you won't get it. So many of the people, they will be coming over here out of curiosity. What is this? It's a huge building. What is this one? Oh, this is a library. This is this thing. Ah, this is a shrine. Why so many gods? Curiosity. They come, they see, they go, and they forget. But sometime I have seen in the noon time, some of the devotees will come and sit over here looking at the photo, intently praying. No one is there. He or she is not here only to show other people that I am a devotee, I am a holy person. No. Quietly coming over here, sitting over here, looking at the photo and praying. Not that they are known to us, unknown. Entered here, kept the car, sat over here. I saw. So these are the devotees coming only for the purpose to get the blessings of God, to pray. That is the reason. That we have to understand. The karanam, that is the instrument, and then the karma, action. The action is more important. And when you go to the Hindu temple, there are so many functions are going on. We are so happy to see that. So many other people are also there. Hi, hello, we are just exchanging, and of course going and bound down to the gods and goddesses, coming out. What is the purpose? Are you ready with all your senses to receive the blessings? That is the question. The development in spiritual life. This is the question. Are you really sincere? In that case, in the Bhagavad Gita, so many thousands of years before, they are giving us this training. Jnanam, Gyam, Parigyata. Jnanam is the knowledge. Gyam, the object of knowledge. And Parigyata, the person who wants to know. These are the three. And they do the whole thing. So, and how you will do it? If your indriyas, senses, including your mind, all are ready. Then karanam, all the instrument, then the karma, purpose of action. Rani Rashmani, she is the founder of the Dakshineshwar temple, and she was a queen, very rich lady, and very courageous also. She face to face fought with the Britishers in those days. So, very courageous lady. She came to Dakshineshwar and prayed to Sri Ramakrishna. only an ordinary priest, and as an employee of the Rani, queen. She sat over there and requested the Sri Ramakrishna, can you please sing a devotional song? Sri Ramakrishna started singing. Then suddenly stopped singing and gave a slap. Can you understand? That situation, when you imagine, it is so scary. Without hesitation, a very ordinary, I think 80 rupees he used to get as a salary from that lady. The Malkin in Hindi mein kehte hain, she was the owner of the whole thing, gave a slap. Everybody was taken aback and they were ready to take action. Then the Rani told, no, don't do anything. He is correct. Why? I was thinking something else sitting over here. I asked him to sing about the mother and he was singing. What is the purpose of the song? To well up the devotion. Instead of that, I was thinking the litigation that is going on, what will happen, how our lawyer will present it, all those things. I forgot the purpose of visiting the temple. Thakur very kindly brought my mind back to the purpose. So that is purpose of action. The Indriyas, the Karanam, Karma and the Karta. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when he was a very young boy, he was accompanying a group of ladies. They were going to a pilgrimage at the center place, Vishalakshi. Vishal means huge, all pervading. Akshi means the eye. That is God, Goddess. So that is on the open field. There's a big stone is there, just like eye. So they go, still now the villagers they go. Of course, they have covered it with a temple, etc. When he was going, accompanying the elderly ladies, all the ladies were gossiping something except about God. None of them they were talking about God or doing anything. So just to bring their mind back to the purpose. What is the purpose you are going over there? If you like to have this type of talk, the gossip, the conversation, you can very well sit over here and do that. Why you are going to the temple, to the pilgrim center? What is the purpose? So that young boy, Avatara, whose life mission is to spread the religion, to bring back the religion in the minds of the devotees, make them understand what is true spirituality. What he did, you know, those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, he fainted, as if fainted. And then they were trying to bring him back to consciousness, sprinkling the water, fanning, calling. Nothing happened. Suddenly one lady started taking the name of God and he got up. And so that is the teaching, training Sri Ramakrishna is giving. What Sri Ramakrishna is teaching? These things that we have to remember again and again. The purpose. If you don't feel, it's not necessary to go to the temple. But if you really feel, you must go to temple with a purpose. Most of the time we come to the temple and there is also a society. So many other people are there. We become friends, we become enemies, we criticize, we praise, we make the groupings. Everywhere it is there. And temples are also not out of this. That is a sad thing. Because we forget the purpose. Karanam, the instrument of action. Karma, the purpose of action. And the karteti, the karta, the agent. These three should be tuned. Trivida karma samgraha. And from these constituents of action, all the actions that is happening only for this. Then, in the Bhagavad Gita, in different places, they are giving a details about the Raja, Tama and Sattva. the knowledge dominated by sattva. How we will know that we are swatik, or rajasic, or tamasic? He is giving the list. The knowledge dominated by sattva leads to understanding of unity in diversity. The very first thing, unity in diversity. The moment we think, oh no, they are different, we are different, they speak in a different tongue and we different, their culture is different, we are different, you are not a sattik. So see, this is all very clear. If you want to be a sattik, you have to develop these qualities, no differences. Why? All the manifestation of God. So this difference should not be there. The person whose knowledge, jnana, thinking is dominated by sattva leads to understanding of unity in diversity. Then what will be his action? Action dominated by it, the sattva, tend to detachment and freedom from passionate affiliation. What will be his action? The sattik, he will be doing it very intently but unattached. So that is then the doer dominated by it is comparatively free from ego sense, not completely free from ego. It's not possible. Only after these, when he realizes God, then the ego will go. But here the ego is, I am the child of God, the son of God. I am the servant of God. I am the friend of God. That ego is there. Then comparatively free from sense, ego sense and attachment, but yet does not lack enthusiasm and interest in the work. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, a simple word he said. See, when a devotee see another devotee, he is very happy. Why? Both of them are going to God. And what is God? Nothing but unselfish love, pure love. So that is the reason they can love each other. They can feel for each other. The moment you are adding some purpose with it, worldly purposes, then you are gone. A very rich person is coming, immediately it is different. I came over here, I saw, my God, such a rich person is here. So it started coming, and then slowly making a friendship with that man so that I can influence him, so that I can get some benefit. You are not a devotee. So I must love that person also, and the person who has nothing to help me. Even then, I like him because he loves God. He is coming to my Thakur, coming to my God. So that way there. So the doer dominated by is completely, comparatively, not complete, comparatively free from ego sense and attachment, but yet does not lack enthusiasm and interest in the work. The moment we think of that, we are detached, we stop working. Wrong. When you go to some other places and we see the unnecessary, the fans are moving, lights are on, unnecessary, the only expenditure, we put it off. Not that we wait for someone to tell us, no, this is my Thakur's thing. I must take care so that there should not be any wastage. When I see that the chairs are scattered here and there, and I go and I sit, and when I stand up immediately, I have to keep those things properly, because who else will do it? Why should I have to give trouble to others? Look at it. This consciousness, always alert. Why? This is my God's place. And wherever I go is nothing but the manifestation of God. And if a person is coming and doing the job that I undid it, so obviously I am creating problem for that person. I should not do that. Though when we joined in the ashrama, the first teaching that we received from the senior Swami, We used to go out for marketing. As a brahmachari, we had to do all those things. And he said, when you are going for the marketing, it's a long journey, and there is an ashrama there. If you like to take prasad, you must inform them at least 3 hours before the cooking. Our cooking will be over by 10, 10:30, 11, because they will be offering to God. So naturally, before 10, 10:30, so they know these are the people coming. Accordingly, they will, the provisions they will utilize. And you must reach there right time before food. Don't tell them, keep that food and somebody should wait for me, I am coming, you have to wait. No. Don't create problem for the ashrama. So that ashrama seva, that you must always remember, that is called sattva guna. Very simple thing, but that creates the sattva. And then the intelligence dominated by the sattva, always accompanied by moral sensibility and the eye to the spiritual side of things. Eye to the spiritual side of things and moral sensibility. And that is the reason the sattva, always we talk, we know about it, we know the 3 gunas, almost all Indians are aware of it. At least those, the generation, the older generation, the senior generation, they know about it. But actually what? 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it gives the details. And if we practice that, we become spiritual. And nothing else. We need not to go to anything, any person. Only these qualities that the accompanied by the what? Intelligence, the buddhi, always should think what is moral, what is good, that we should do, otherwise not. And this way, and the strength of mind dominated by the sattva is expressed as control of the senses and the mind. So first, what is this? First is the sattva leads to knowledge of sattva, leads to understanding of unity in diversity. And we see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he is the manifestation of the sattva and beyond sattva. Everything is mingling in him, all knowledge are going to him, all experiences. So all that is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. Then we find, as a strict adherence to principles and experience dominated by the sattva, in the beginning it is painful. When we are experiencing, practicing sattva, painful, because it is high moral value, because you have to discipline your mind, and which is very difficult, but at the end is a great bliss. If I practice the sattva guna, what I get? Naturally there is a question. And what I will get after practicing sattva guna? Then it says it is so difficult in the beginning, but at the end it is blissful. And the rajagunas, it's direct attention to the diversity of things and not their unity. The rajaguna people, their first knowledge will be diversity and not unity. We went to a temple, they are having lot many rooms. Some of our devotees, they wanted a room to practice only twice in a month. They practice reading gospel and Sri Ramakrishna, etc., etc. Then the gentleman, he came and said, I am sorry, only those who believe in my God are allowed here, otherwise not. He is a Hindu, Sanatan Panthi, but he told, you may be Hindu, but I don't believe you. I only believe that those who are practicing the my path, believing my God, they are allowed over here. Where from it is coming? Rajaguna. I have understood. So that is the best. Whatever I think, I do, all are perfect and best. It comes from ego. The knowledge dominated by Rajas direct attention to diversity of things and not their unity. And the work dominated by Raja result in actions done with great attachment, egotism and tremendous energy. They will show the energy, they will do the good things, but with attachment and for their name and fame. They will never do silently, quietly. The Sattvagunis, nobody will know who is doing it. Long back, after the passing away of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who asked his principal disciple, Swami Vivekananda, that you are the leader, you must keep your friends together. And then they hired a haunted house because the other houses were costly. So, haunted house, that too 8 rupees. In those days 8 rupees was really costly. And the ground floor was full with snakes and other dirty things, only on the first floor, and that was the way they used to live, no food. There was a big tamarind tree. When there is nothing to eat, Swami Yogananda ji, who was the son of a very rich landlord, the landlord of Dakshinesha, he used to go to pick up some tamarind leaves, millions of leaves are there. Even then the caretaker used to come and scold him and used to call him as a thief. Why you are touching the tree? This is my. Somehow he used to bring, he used to boil that. You can try, I have not tried. I don't think that is how it will taste. And he used to boil that without any salt, without anything. That he used to make one ball, and our direct disciples, they used to eat that. That was their condition. Day and night, meditation, reading, japa, discussion. They never cared about their body. That is called Varanagar days. Very highly austere days was going on. Then suddenly they started finding always there is some rice, little bit of oil, some salt, some vegetables, and the day it is over, next day again it is there. And they used to wonder how it is coming. Yesterday it was almost empty. The container of that rice, it was empty. Again it is full. Who is doing it? You know who is to do it? After a long time they discovered it was Master Mashai. Sri Ma, he used to go and meditate along with them, and secretly he will go and see, check in the kitchen area, what are the things are there. He was a very ordinary teacher. He used to earn a very less money in those days. The salary was not very high. Even then, he used to bring all those provisions and keep over there. People were not knowing who is doing it for a so long. In my life also I experienced. I was in a Himalayan ashrama, and I loved to take coffee or tea. Coffee was not available there, in that it's a poor ashrama, but they used to give me the tea. So I had a flask and I used to bring the tea, and I used to think if I could get some biscuits it would have been better, because in the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock I used to feel hungry, and I was thinking the very first day, and from the ashrama it was not possible. I opened the gate, I found a very good biscuit packet is hanging outside the door. I thought maybe somebody they have come, kept it over here, they will take. I didn't touch, and it was there for the next day also. Then I thought, if somebody has given to me, let me eat. So I prayed to Thakur, if I am taking away somebody's, please forgive me, but I am hungry, I like to take it. The day I completed, next day another packet is hanging. It was next day another packet is hanging. I was there for 1 month. Till now I do not know who is to supply the biscuit packets. Now there are some people, they will be constantly helping in this way, very secretly. But there are some businessmen, they will be telling Gupta Dana. In Hindi they say Gupta Dana, secret donation. Even the Lord Jesus is also telling, your left hand should not know what your right hand is doing, etc. But in the name of Gupta Dana, they are giving Gupta money actually. The black money they are donating, that is not Gupta Dana. There are some of the hundis, they will be putting a lot of money, particularly in the South Indian temples. They say, I don't know, I don't have any direct experience, but that is not Gupta Dana. Gupta Dana means you are helping without knowing. No, people won't know who is actually doing. So this is the way the knowledge of the Rajas is direct, and then they cannot see unity, they always see the diversity. The actions with the great egotism, and the agent dominated by it is greedy, cruel, attached to subject to elation and depression, subject to joy and sorrow. That is the. Now the intelligence of the Rajas dominated by it is riddled with confusion about the right and wrong, what is right and what is wrong constantly, and has little sense of duty. Rajas. The strength dominated by Rajas is under the sway of ambition, desire, and worldly status. And the happiness dominated by Rajas is extremely attractive in the beginning. When they start doing something, they are very happy. But the end of those actions, suffering. See, now the question is, the scripture is only telling you the truth. Whether you accept it or not, whether we accept it or not, to us. And those who will understand it, accept it, practice it, they will be slowly going towards God, elevating towards the spiritual realm. So, third is coming tamas. And the knowledge dominated by tamas sees mere side issues as the whole truth. The some of the people is always critic. They can never understand what is the problem. The one gentleman can claim as a devotee. He came and he was entered, saw me, and said, "Can I talk to you?" And yes. "Why these things are not like this?" "Yeah, you're good." I told, "Have you gone to the shrine?" "No, I will go afterwards. I like to know all that." First you go to the shrine, then first you ask to the God, why is all this? Then perhaps he will answer. And if he cannot, then I will try. I was jokingly telling him. I told, "See, how many people we found over there? Nobody is there. Nobody is attending the door." I told, that is the reason. There is one person, 83. Another 73, another 60. Who is going to open the gate? Now come and be here. Give you some services. Can you do that? Come and do that. Give your service. And if it is a God's home, it is your home. Why don't you come and do that? So the tamas, I am not criticizing, but we see the people. And from them we learn that I should not be like this. The tamasic people also is a great teacher. What should we learn from him? That I never should do like this. They cannot see the whole thing, the only side issue of the whole truth. Who is telling this? Sri Krishna. It's not me, it's not anyone else. Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Swayam. And doggedly hold on to them without due thought, under the prompting of passions. What is their knowledge? This is the knowledge. And whatever they will hold, you cannot change it. Doggedly they will be holding. You go on arguing with them, they will never change. And result, we will come to the result afterwards. They are also practicing spirituality, about whom these are talked about the devotee. But this devotee, they are coming to God, but unfortunately not knowing that he or she has to change the characteristics of his thought, his action, behavior. Now, these people, action dominated by the tamas, when the tamasic people is taking some action, is undertaken thoughtlessly. They will be doing the same thing thoughtlessly. All the people, they assembled in the house of God. Then one person, he said, oh, we have been attacked, our religion has been attacked, our God has been defiled by some people. Just take the name of God and don't waste your time. In the corner of the temple, there are all swords and sticks and guns and arms are there. Take those things and go and attack them. As many people you can kill, so directly you will go to heaven. And some of us, we believe in that and we are excited. Somehow we take the name of God and run and pick up a sword or something and go and kill the innocent people. Maybe they were not knowing anything. And we feel that we have done something very good, really tamasic. These tamasic people, they action dominated by tamas undertake thoughtlessly, without any estimate of one's capacity of resources, what he actually can do, and is prompted by delusion and cruel motive. So this is also very, very important. Then sometimes some people out of emotion, one of our Swamiji, he was a very young, somehow he brought from the street one person, a leprosy person, and he was taking inside the room. Hey, what you are doing? No, I like to do all the seva to that leprosy person. We are not supposed to do that over here. We do not know how to do that. If you want to help him, take him to the hospital, admit him over there, collect some fund, give it to the hospital, let him get the proper medicine, doctors will look after him. How you can do that? No, how you can talk like that? Being a monk, you cannot. He was fighting. So this is totally is a not service, is emotion. We have to understand how far we can do, how much we can do. All the thing we cannot do, that you have to understand. So this is the reason that tamas undertake thoughtlessly without any estimate of one's capacity of resources, and is prompted by delusion and cruel motive. The agent, the person who is a tamasic, dominated by the tamas, is fickle minded. He will be doing this, he will be doing that, sometime here, sometime there. Is a fickle minded, and then exploiting, procrastinating, sleep whore and his method. And intelligence dominated by the tamas is seeing unrighteousness as righteousness, because he is in a delusion. So his intellect sees only unrighteousness as a righteousness. So this is all these things. Strength of determination dominated by tamas is always subject to depression. These tamasic people, after completing their work, they are depressed. So we have to be very, very careful. So we, the devotees of God, after attending all our duties, responsibilities, we are coming over here to increase, to develop our spiritual life. That we should not forget. I do not come over here to please someone, no. I do not come over here only to engage myself, no. I come over here to develop my spiritual knowledge. So when I am walking, I am cleaning, I am working, all that thing should be go on with the repetition of God's name. And the first time Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the name of God has the tremendous power to clean your all work and thoughts. Pleasure dominated by tamas is from the beginning, and the lethargy and heedlessness, he cannot reach anywhere. So this is what is the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Today he only is mentioning to Brahmo devotees. So he could say like this, no, he is telling the truth to them. It may not be very palatable, they may not like all these things, all people want to listen only praise. But when the God they come, they don't bother about whether you are liking or not, they tell the truth. The mothers, they always tell the child, sit for it, for your study, you must be concentrating on your study, don't waste your time. Sometimes the children do not like the mothers because they are constantly trying to say, they like their fathers because only after the office he will come, hey son, what you are doing, let us go for a fun, and son is very happy. See, the father never asked me to sit and read, but you are constantly asking me because mother is concerned. So the Shastra, the Avatara, the Guru are just like the mother, very compassionate, very careful, alert to help us. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he has come to attend a function, and after coming over here, he is telling them, you know, there are some people, they are swatik, some people are rajasic, some people are tamasic. Similarly, bhakti devotion has a sattva, and we will read in our next class. The bhakti also having a sattva, raja and tama. Devotion is very pure, but even then it has that. So that is totally different type. We will read the next class. Let us complete. Where I kept that. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.